Okay. Welcome to the Plan and Zone Commission meeting of March 20th. Can we have the roll call, please?
Gibson. Kapler.
Here.
Kulkarni.
Here.
Ormsby.
Here.
Satterfield.
Here.
Stoltenberg.
Here.
Wendland.
Here.
All right. Do we have an approval of the minutes of the February 21st meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for approval of the minutes from the February 21st meeting as submitted.
Second.
All right. All right. Do we have a first and second? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, motion passes. All right, this is the Plan and Zone Commission, a seven-member commission appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the city council. The commission is a recommending body, only with the city council making the final decision. Our regular meetings are held on Wednesday, the third Wednesday of the month at 5:30, right here. Occasionally, we have some special meetings. We cover rezoning requests, preliminary plats, site development, and landscape plans, and planned unit developments. All right, with that, we will dive right in. Taylor?
Thank you, Chairman. As mentioned, for the record, the case 2419 has been deferred to the next regular scheduled meeting, April. Next case on the agenda is 2418, site development plan for 3636 Tanglewood Road. This is the location of the Tanglewood Restaurant. The applicant is Craig Wagner, owner. The request is for site development plan, proposes an 18-hole mini golf course with associated lighting, landscaping, and artificial turf. At the this month's Board of Adjustment meeting, a special use permit was approved by the Board of Adjustment. This was required due to the use in a C1 district. This case 2417. And for those who don't know, the Tanglewood's on Devil's Glen Road and Tanglewood Road on the east side of Devil's Glen Road. Future land use and zoning. The currently adopted future land use map designates this area as urban low intensity, surrounded by public, semi-public. We have the PV bus barn to the north, public works and park maintenance to the northeast. And then across the street, we have some urban medium intensity. There are townhomes due south, and then the YMCA and some medical clinics. Current zoning is C1, industrial to the north, and then other C1 across the street to the south. And then to the west of Devil's Glen, we have residential plan unit development. Just wanted to peek at our draft future land use map. So this is what we'll be adopting with the new updated comp plan. This area has been designated as community commercial, so it's a little higher intensity. Changes were proposed due to the trend in development along the Devil's Glen corridor. We're seeing a lot of commercial development, especially on the east side of Devil's Glen. This restaurant is one of them, and then we have other developments further south of Tanglefoot, and then some medium intensity mixed use with the townhomes to the south. So those are staying the same. This is to the draft right now, though. So the existing site, the existing outdoor uses of the Tanglewood include a bar patio, evening music, events, yard games, and the fire pits as well. A meadow exists east of these establishments or amenities, and this is where the proposed miniature golf course is proposed. The city of Bettendorf owned property farther east contains a parking lot which is leased by the restaurant. Staff is recommending the site development plan be amended to show the golf course only on the restaurant property. The lease agreement is just for parking, so we'd like to see all the golf course construction be completely on the Tanglewood property. Take a look at the current existing site and their parking allotments. As mentioned, the city of Bettendorf owned parking lot contains 52 spaces, so that's shown right here. The parking on the Tanglewood property is 145 spaces, and then the owner of the Tanglewood has an agreement with the YMCA, shared parking agreement, for their 277 spaces. So you have over, I think, 372 spaces. The parking requirement for all these uses mentioned and the proposed use would be 372. They have 474, misspoke. So they have 474 spaces. Requirement by code is 372. The golf course would require 18 more spaces, one for each hole. So it kind of gives you an overview of parking. The proposed plan, as mentioned, the meadow exists where the proposed golf cart course is being proposed. A fence is proposed on this miniature golf course to surround it. Currently, a fence bisects where the golf course is proposed, so that will have to be amended. It's not shown in the site plan, so staff is verbally recommending that be added, that the fence be added to the site plan as well. Movement of that golf course on the property is another recommendation. Staff will note the overall increase in customers and intensity is small relative to the over 1,250 person occupancy that exists on the site. So they have done a life safety plan for indoor and outdoor uses. That's the fence has been reviewed by the fire department, our building department, and this would that would need to be amended as well at the building permit stage. A rendering of the golf course. This is more of the concept is less of a mini golf course with the windmills and other amenities, more of a putting green style golf course. Noise from the miniature golf course is expected to be limited. This is especially true given the existing uses on the property, the bands, outdoor patio. There is lighting proposed. These are 3-foot lighting posts shown kind of light green on the rendering. These will illuminate downward onto the course after dark. So just enough to be used after dark. Additional landscaping is proposed, but it will need to be compliant with an overhead power line easement that exists. So a large power line does go over this site. So tall trees would not be allowed due to that easement, but some shrubs. There does exist some screening already near the parking lot and the proposed golf course. All stormwater drainage calculations for the development have been reviewed and deemed compliant by engineering staff. So this will be drained. This is all impervious and it will be drained to the east. Staff contends the proposed development meets site development plan standards and code requirements, and staff is recommending approval of case 2418, site development plan for 3636 Tanglewood Road with the following conditions. Show the mini golf course completely on the Tanglewood restaurant property, and then verbally adding a second condition of showing that fence, the proposed fence on the site plan for the property. I can take any questions.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
I do have one question. Taylor, I've seen a sign, a small sign, when entering from Devil's Glen Road in the primary entrance off of Devil's Glen. Just to the left, on the left side of that drive, a very small sign that says additional parking available, and it points to the north.
Yeah.
Where is that? Can you show me on the aerial? Where is that sending customers?
So you're talking right here,
No, I'm talking
The other corner.
the other corner.
over here?
No,
No.
on the entrance
I
to
can answer
the
the
restaurant.
question, Taylor.
Okay.
So we allow city lots to be used by adjoining businesses. So like this parking lot in downtown Bettendorf, in the evening, businesses are welcome to use it if they're having events at Harley Corinne's or what was Fumbles, what Bulldog Arms now. So that lot, that sign that you saw, they had an event planned that weekend, and we allowed them to park at the Public Works building and walk down. And I think it's been, they
It's a
asked for
long
permission to
walk.
do it, but it's been last summer since they did that.
Okay,
Yeah, it is a long walk.
so that's just for special occasions?
That was a special event parking situation that
Okay.
they came to us and asked for, but they are parked appropriately now, and maybe I can just, if I can keep going for a second here, I can just add a little bit more information. So they're parked appropriately now with their parking on site, the leased parking and the parking agreement or leased parking with YMCA. So they, they were instructed or they were informed very clearly at the Board of Adjustment that your use is contingent on being able to provide parking. So should they ever lose those 2 leased parking, they'll have to modify their use to meet the parking that they have.
Okay,
And they're aware of that, and that's the, that's the risk they take in business. So if one of their partners in this parking arrangement, the city or the YMCA, someday should change the terms of that agreement, or that agreement should end, then their use would have to modify to meet their parking that is available.
how do you memorialize that?
It was memorialized at the Board of Adjustment as part of their decision.
Okay,
This meeting, we could also
Part of the
enter that
minutes
into the
from that
record, if you
meeting.
will. But it
Okay.
would be the same for any business. If any business decided to tear out 20 parking spots, well, then they'd have to modify the use of that business to accommodate that code requirement.
thank you.
And then just one other thing, I think Roy will probably mention it. We would ask that the fence portions that are facing the right-of-way or highly visible from the right-of-way be more of architectural in nature. If you want to put chain link on the back or something, fine, but we would, and knowing Mr. Wagner, he's probably already planning that. He keeps a pretty nice facility, but we would expect
Right.
if that would be more of an architectural type fence that's in the public-facing portion of this development, and then if they do chain link or something, that might be in the back.
And I believe it's the intent of the applicant. They do have fencing all along. I think it goes right here right now. So it's just removing that north-south and extending it farther east, and then running it a new section on the property line. And they'll match the current fencing, which I believe is black iron.
Is it black architectural, Taylor?
It's black architectural.
Yeah, I think it is. It's weird that I go there enough and I don't know what it looks like.
It's not wrought iron,
It's not
but it's,
conspicuous.
yeah.
Speaking of going there and not noticing things, I don't recall seeing any signs helping people know that they can go over to the Y to park. Have I missed them?
That's a
People
fair
seem to
question.
know because there's a lot of cars there, but that's a very good point.
Yeah, we could work with them on some directional wayfinding signage. That'd be a phone call that we could probably do separate from this meeting, just that we think that's probably necessary and not a big deal. It's happening. I don't know if they're doing it through their Facebook page or other ways of communicating, but it is happening.
Sure. And I don't like to put signs everywhere, but
Yeah.
in some cases, it might help.
They have a nice new digital message board.
Yep.
That might be a place to
And I'm
comment on
not sure
that.
that it doesn't exist, so I'm hedging a little bit because I'm not sure that it doesn't exist. But
And we've done similar parking instructions. An example would be Shops at the Woodlands. They have it's off-site parking at the summit, and there's a sidewalk with additional parking signs, so very similar. And directional signage isn't permitted. It's not, doesn't go against your sign allowance for permits, so.
I have a question. So this whole golf, mini golf course is probably going to be putting style and mostly artificial turf. So how's the stormwater kind of managed? Is that being addressed?
I can answer that. I did not include the drainage plan on this, but they have basically multiple piping. This is all artificial turf, actually.
Right,
Yeah,
that's what
it's
I
100%.
Yeah.
Even the blue is artificial and the sand's artificial. And so they have it all piped to go east into that pretty much meadow area. It doesn't, as I said, the engineering department review doesn't meet the requirements for detaining it.
I don't know if we may have somebody from the design company here as well. If there's questions like that, they might be able to help answer.
Okay. Any other questions? Anyone in the audience who wish to ask a question? Okay,
Would you like a motion?
let's go for it.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for approval of case number 24-018, subject to staff recommendations.
I will second that.
And that will include the one that's not listed, but the one Taylor
With the
mentioned.
fence, correct.
Okay. With that, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Motion carries.
Okay. I'll present on the next two cases, 2421 and 2422. This is a preliminary plat and final plat for the reserve. This is an extraterritorial review. A little background, the applicant is Reed Windmiller. The request is for an extraterritorial review of a preliminary plat and final plat. The plat proposes a 15-lot, single-family residential development located east of Wells Ferry Road. There's 12 developable lots in the subdivision proposed. This, as shown, is east of Wells Ferry Road, so it's well outside our current city limits. But it is within our extraterritorial review area. We have an agreement with Leclerc, which a boundary line is roughly the western edge of the golf course, so it falls in east or west of that line. We have by state power to review plats within that area, and that goes all around the city to the northwest. Future land use and zoning. The plat area is zoned R1 single family within unincorporated Scott County under their zoning map. So it is current residential. Our future land use and our annexation, our draft annexation map, it's outside that annexation map. Everything west of there that's not developed is shown on our proposed annexation map. But this area has not contemplated for annexation on that map at this time. And this will be shown in our comp plan update, which will be coming for you soon. Looking at the preliminary plat, the plat proposes a total of 15 lots, 12 developable. Access is provided via Tall Pine Lane and Sawgrass Court from Wells Ferry Road. Improvements are designed to meet Bettendorf standard specifications. They are showing 53-foot right-of-way and sidewalks, though they will be privately owned and maintained, so the county will not be plowing these or maintaining these. Each developable lot will be served by individual septic systems. This is not on a Leclerc or Bettendorf sewer. Also, Bettendorf Fire is designated as backup for this development. This development will be extending water mains south, I believe, along Wells Ferry Road, so they will have fire hydrants in the subdivision. The fire department has reviewed this and meets their specifications. The proposed final plat matches the preliminary plat exactly. Because it lies outside the future annexation area for the city, because the preliminary plat meets all the requirements of the city, staff is recommending concurrent approval of the preliminary plat and final plat. Once approved by, recommended for approval by this body and approved by city council, that would be forwarded to Scott County, and then they have their own review process as well. Given that, staff recommends approval of case 2421 preliminary plat for the reserve and case 2422 final plat for the reserve. I can take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
Mr. Chairman, I would just note that I was talking to Chief Sade prior to our meeting today. We're actually the primary fire service. We're not backup. We have, and the chief can explain better than I do, but we have certain designated areas surrounding the city where we are the actual primary provider. And this would be a primary service for us. So I would correct the report to note that.
Thank you.
That is correct, thank you.
Okay, Roy, do you have any questions?
Nope, I addressed those earlier with Mark. I had some questions and called about that. So those were the two things I addressed. So we're good.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address this? No. Okay. In that case, I think we need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve case 24-22 021 and case 24-022, subject to staff approval.
We'll take them one at a time. So we have a motion for the first one.
Second.
And a second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those same sign. Okay, case 24-021 carries. And we already have a motion for the next one, so do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. I think that carries. So I think that's everything, and we're up, commission updates.
Yeah, mark your calendars if you haven't already, please. April 3rd, we'll have a special meeting to go over the comprehensive plan. And we'll also kind of kick off in earnest our efforts on the zoning ordinance update, which is done post-comp plan traditionally. So comp plan is just about done. It's a really good-looking document. Thank you for all your efforts. We're just really now going through a formal review and approval process to make that official land use plan of the city. And then we will be asking for some input on the zoning ordinance. I would ask, I don't want to plant anything in your mind, but I would ask that maybe you do a little homework and think about, as you encounter the zoning ordinance from your perspective, what has bothered you, what has confused you, what have you not liked? I would not even say, go read it. I would let you just say, as you've
feel.
encountered it from your perspective, where have you had hiccups, had questions, thought it was cumbersome, thought it was good, perhaps? Because we will edit that in relation to the changes we made to the comp plan, and we really need your input, so. That's all I
Great.
have.
What time is that on the 3rd? Can you remind me,
We'll do it the
Lisa?
same time,
5:30,
but we're
right?
gonna move locations just to make it really confusing. So we're gonna change locations on you, and we're gonna go over to Surrey Heights, I believe. Surrey Heights Fire
To the
Station.
fire station?
Yeah, and we'll probably set it up classroom style. Public is welcome. It's a public meeting.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks for the update. With that, we're adjourned.